Despite the fact that they are now common in zoos, parks, and farms all over the world, peacocks are actually native to Asia. In their native India, the birds are symbols of Hinduism and Indian aristocracy. Instead of their loud honking sounds, they are more well-liked elsewhere for their ornamental blue and green tail feathers. You probably didn't know these peacock facts, which range from their historical use as pricey meat to their fashionable plumage. Peacocks are males, as you well know. Similar to other sexually dimorphic bird species, only the male peafowls have eye-catching color and magnificent, ornate tail feathers. The females are also stunning, but instead of blue, they have softer colors like gray and brown. Only males who are courting a potential mate exhibit this train-rattling activity, therefore females do not fan their feathers out as we are accustomed to seeing a peacock do. In addition, peacock refers to the male and peahen to the female, despite the fact that both sexes are frequently referred to by the same name. A grouping of peafowl is referred to as a bevy, ostentation, or muster. Peacocks need years to grow their vibrant tail feathers. Peach chicks are identical when they are young and for several months afterward in appearance. Males don't start to develop color until they are around 3 months old, and it takes them until they are 3 years old and fully mature for their legendary tail feathers to develop spectacular color. The elegance of the peacock's tail will really draw in a mate. At the end of each mating season, a peacock naturally sheds its feathers in order to grow them back larger and fuller for the following mating season. The animals achieve their peak vibrancy around age 6. They serve as the national bird of India. The blue or Indian peacock, Pavo cristatus, was selected as India's national bird in 1963. Almost the entire Indian subcontinent is within its range, and the IUCN considers it to be a species of least concern there. In Hindu religious culture and Indian art, the peacock has a long history of portrayal and is frequently associated with nobility and gods. For instance, it is said that the peacock feather in the crown of the Hindu god Lord Krishna. Peahens are picky when choosing a companion. Peahens evaluate the physical condition of males based on their visual presentation. Minor rattling during this show provides the impression that spots are hanging over a shimmering background. One idea contends that the male feather's resemblance to blueberries makes them appealing to females. Others hypothesize that it may be because the lively performance can help keep predators at bay. According to studies on peahen behavior, the angle of the peacock's tail feathers may be even more important than the volume of the display. There is evidence that mate choice is influenced by vocalizations, dancing, including feather shaking and movement, and vibrations. Actually, their crests serve as important sensors. Peacock's stunning plumage has so much going on that their crests, which resemble floating crowns, are sometimes overlooked. Peafowls' crests play a big part in mating. Both males and females have these long feathers, but peahens employ them for functions other than ornamentation. Instead, a sensor is used for the crests. When male peacocks ruffle their tails, scientists have witnessed it at approximately 25 times per second. To attract females, the female observes the show and feels it in her crest. Peacocks have historically served as symbols. In addition to being the national bird of India, peacocks also have historical significance as a symbol of immortality in Greek mythology, and Ashkenazi Jews associate golden peacocks with creativity, their feathers connected to the idea of inspiration for writers. Early Christian mosaics and artworks typically feature peacocks because the eyes on their tail feathers were thought to represent the all-seeing God or the church. In ancient Persia, peacocks were associated with the tree of life. They previously were food for the wealthy. In the Middle Ages, exotic animals were presented as a sign of riches at the feasts of the wealthy. Recipes from that time period detail the difficult procedure of getting peacocks ready for a feast. After the feathers were taken off to enable for cooking and flavoring the peacock, it would be reattached before being consumed for an exquisite aesthetic presentation. According to the English and Australian cookery book, a normal cook cannot present a peacock in the appropriate manner. Only the most attractive lady was eligible for this ritual back when chivalry reigned. She carried it to the master of the house at the beginning of the meal when uplifting music was playing. Peacocks don't appear to taste like chicken, though. Records indicate that most customers found them to be harsh and flavorless. Peahens typically develop more masculine traits as they get older. Older peahens with peacock feathers and male vocalizations have been known to exist. According to a study on peafowl sex inversion, peahens with damaged or elderly ovaries stop generating as much estrogen as they age, which causes them to start sounding and looking more like males. What is the reason for this peculiar phenomenon? Male characteristics seem to have developed naturally in the animal. Peahens only appear plainer because hormones inhibit their plumage. Now that the trait may be enhanced through selective breeding, snow-white peacocks are a little more common than they once were. Contrary to albinism, which often results in the loss of pigmentation from the eyes and feathers, leucism is a congenital illness that only affects the pigment in the feathers, resulting in red eyes. White peafowls, which are incredibly rare in nature, fit this description. Peacocks are avian. Even though their tail feathers are huge and heavy when folded up out of fan position, peacocks frequently fly short distances to escape to a tree branch for shelter from predators or to nest at night. It's intriguing that the distance that peacocks traveled before and after molting, when they naturally lose their feathers, wasn't much different. Some individuals exhibit subtler tails. The Congo peafowl is a less popular species, Afropavo congensis. Population reduction poses a threat to the bird, which is a native of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Males have breathtaking deep blue plumage with touches of green and violet, while females are predominantly brown and green with black abdomens. Smaller than other peafowl species and with short tail feathers, Congo peacocks flutter their tail feathers during mating rituals. Despite being bred for warmth, peacocks can endure cold temperatures if they are protected from the outdoors. They need refuge from ferocious winds and below freezing temperatures to survive in Arctic regions. Exposure to extreme temperatures has the potential to reduce the lifespan of a peacock. Indian blue peafowl can live for 10 to 25 years both in the wild and in captivity. In Asia, mongooses, wild dogs, and jungle cats are their main predators. Other animals that may hunt on them include domestic dogs, wolves, coyotes, and raccoons. Peacocks breed during the monsoon season in their native India. The animal does not dance in response to or as a result of the rain. Rather, it just goes through its mating ritual during the wet season, around May. Different peacock vocalizations have different meanings. The birds may make a subdued announcement of their presence or a loud warning to warn others of predators when they reach their territory. Peacocks are very noisy during the mating season, and their mating cry resembles a high-pitched hooting. Understanding the needs and behaviors of other living beings is essential for safeguarding biodiversity and maintaining environments. We believe that the more information we have about stunning species like peafowl, the more motivated we will all be to help protect the forests and shrublands where they live. Peacocks make annoying noises. The peacock, which screams inhumanely loud noises, is generally considered the loudest animal. 11 different vocalizations are used by peacocks. During the monsoon, their sounds become more frequent and signal approaching rains. When peacocks wag their tails, an audible sound to human hearing is produced. Peacocks make a lot of noise to attract peahens during mating season and when they feel threatened. The largest flying birds. The peacock's long train and substantial weight do not prohibit it from flying. They don't go very far, though. Usually, peacocks fly to get away from danger or to get to their nocturnal roost. Being a ground-dwelling mammal, peacocks prefer to run over flying insects. In comparison to other terrestrial birds, peacocks can run at a speed of 16 kilometers per hour, which is rather quick. These birds weigh 8 to 13 pounds and are more than 5 feet long from head to tail. Only the tail makes up 60% of the peacock's total body length. Being able to sprint while being one of the biggest flying birds is one of the amazing characteristics about peacocks.